The mid-year festival in country music capital, and it's been wonderful to welcome so many talented singer-songwriters and performers into our TMFM studio this morning. And another joins me now, Gabby Foreman. Good morning, Gabby.
Morning, Sharnae. How are you?
I'm very, very well. It's nice to see your smiling face sitting opposite me.
Nice to see yours.
Now, it's been a little while since we last spoke because what was it? We were just talking off air. Was it last year?
Last year, yeah.
Part of the Junior Academy.
Yeah.
My goodness, how you been since then?
Yeah, it has been a wild ride, I'll tell you that much. No, it's amazing to see kind of, have a timestamp. It's been a year. It's kind of shocking the things that I think back to what I've done in that time. Academy definitely kick-started most of that, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that experience too has been quite valuable.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially with the songwriting assistance and stuff like that. It's just invaluable,
Yeah, and it's great to see you back in Tamworth. It sounds like you've already had a very busy start to your Hats Off to Country festival.
Yeah, I played a Songwriters in the Round yesterday with the Tamworth Songwriters Association. That was really fun. It's such a awesome environment to just sit with another few songwriters and get to share our songs with an audience, and it's just so nice to be able to listen to everybody else's stuff. It's really lovely.
Yeah, and you're an avid songwriter too. You like to keep yourself busy, putting pen to paper.
Yeah, I just, casually wrote a song last night just for giggles. Just because I showed up to Tamworth, and seeing all of friends who, we all live in such different areas. And, we all come back to Tamworth because it's Tamworth, And so I decided to write a song about that.
Yeah, nice. And you brought your guitar in with you this morning.
Yes.
Which I always love it when, and I say this quite often, seeing people bring their guitars in, but sometimes, I sit here as someone who doesn't know how to play guitar. I love admiring these beautiful, instruments. And yours looks pretty unique. It's actually got some on the fretboard. Is that something pretty special about that one with that little pattern?
Yeah, definitely. I haven't actually seen any like it. So it's got an island inlaid with mother of pearl. And then on the 12th fret it's got, two birds, and the 5th, 7th and 9th also have birds, all inlaid in mother of pearl. And I just think it's really nice and unique. Most guitars just have, the dots, quite like these ones.
Yeah. And have you had it for a while?
Yeah, I've had this one since I was probably 14. It's a great guitar. I love it, and it's definitely a statement with all the inlay and stuff like that. I do love it.
It's eye-catching.
Exactly. Yes. And it shines under stage.
Yes. Adds a little bit of extra sparkle. So you said you just casually wrote a song last night.
Yes.
Is this the one you're going to perform for us, or is it another song that you're going to play?
No, I think I'm going to play another one today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you going to treat us to?
So I'm going to play you a song that I wrote a few months ago, and it's called Kiandra. And it's from down, Kiandra is in around where I live. So I live in the Snowy Mountains, and we have a region there called Kiandra, and it was known as the first skiing. But everyone knows it as the first skiing, and I decided to dig a little deeper. And in the 1860s, it was actually a gold rush town.
Wow.
Yeah, so it had, 8 registered pubs, as most gold rush towns do, more doctors than we've got down there at the moment, and yeah, it was a really vibrant gold town. And then it got torn down in the 1980s because it was considered a town with kind of no purpose, and national parks wanted to, cut it off a bit. So it doesn't really exist anymore. And Kiandra, the region, and it's big, vast lands and plains and stuff like that, but it did have gold, and I think that's really interesting because we all know about Ballarat and the big gold rushes, but this one was there too.
Yeah, and sometimes it sounds like it sort of flies under the radar of people's knowledge.
Yes, absolutely.
Of Australia's gold rush history. Well, I can't wait to hear this song.
Yeah.
So take it away, Gabby Foreman.
1859 and the cattle grazing on the golden lands in Pollock's Gully up where the snow means unprepared. Your dad 1980, Kiandra was torn to the ground. Was a town with no real purpose. Now it's a barren plain. The thriving town of gold. Now history. A couple of signs are all that remain. Oh, Kiandra, where did you go? Was the rush not enough? Was the rush not enough? Was the rush not enough?
On TMFM 95.5 in the Country Mile. If you've just joined us, Gabby Foreman is my special guest in the studio, and that is an amazing song. Gabby, thank you
Thank
for
you so
performing
much.
that.
No, thank you.
And, and I love listening to the lyrics of that because, like you said, quite an interesting story.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's fascinating because you can drive through Kiandra now and there's signs and oh, this was the place where they first kind of skied. This is where they put the first ski lift. But everyone, knows that we ski down in the Snowy Mountains. It's not exactly a secret. But, under a bit of research, I found that they had, 8 registered pubs, and that's I swear it's more than what we've got down there at the moment.
Yeah.
And things like that. One of the pubs, it was called the 9 Mile, and it was fined £30 for selling illegal alcohol.
Wow.
And he had to serve 14 days in prison because of it, because they didn't have £30 back then. That was expensive. So that just little bits of detail like that you don't really know. Yeah.
So as a young songwriter, I mean, the sort of stories that you come across through your travels, through talking to people, things that you read about, is that sort of the basis of a lot of your songwriting, or where do you find your inspiration?
Yeah, I really like to write songs that I think are stories that need to be told. One of the things that really sticks to me about songwriting and songs is that they are a story. I really love country music for that reason, because it's a story. There's something behind it. And so my other songs that I've written, they're about things like bullying and grief and the loss of a person close to you, or stories like Kiandra is a story about the history of the place I'm from. And I think it's really important to have that basis of a story in a song, because that's what gives it its drive. That's what gives it the purpose.
Yeah. No, I think that's amazing, and I'd encourage everyone to jump online and follow you on your socials, and
Yes.
you can stream your other songs as well.
Yeah. I'm on every streaming platform known to man. I clicked the box that said select all. So Gabby Foreman, and I'm there.
Fantastic. Now, I also need to make mention of the fact, in some very recent and exciting news, you've obviously been announced that you're performing at the Gympie Music Muster.
Yes, yeah, that's very, very exciting. I've never been all the way up there, so that's very exciting, yeah. And the reason I'm doing that is because yesterday I got announced as the Australian National Busking Championships ambassador, which is very, very cool.
So what's that role going to entail for you, Gabby, as the ambassador now?
I'm just really going around and telling people to enter the Busking Championships. It is an incredible opportunity. It's where I really started. We have 7 regional finals around, the country, and we're aiming on growing that as well, to, create a vast reach kind of busking championships. And as a part of those finals, if you win or you come high placed, you then get the opportunity to go to the national grand final, which is in Cooma, which is around, the Snowy Mountains. And then you all battle it out to kind of be the national busking champion, which is really, it's an incredible opportunity, and it's really fun, it's busking, and busking is just fun.
Yeah, I was going to ask, I mean, sometimes I would assume it's a little bit nerve-wracking performing on stage, whether it be a small stage, big stage, but what's it like busking? Because that's kind of a different sort of kettle of fish altogether, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely different. You know, when you're on a stage, you have a sit-down audience. They're there. You can take your time a bit. With busking, you want to get them in, you know, as quick as you can to come and watch. You know, we usually say you have about 10 seconds to kind of attract an audience to come and, you know, stand and watch. But even just having the passing people, you know, it's awesome to be able to see their faces as they walk past. You know, they go, oh, that's cool. You know, like there's someone playing music, and music really does affect people in a massive way. And yeah, it's really interesting to see that from a performer perspective.
Yeah, and being, you know, busking, like we see it each and every January when, you
Yes.
know, Peel Street becomes the famous boulevard of dreams, and
Yes.
you know all the buskers line the Peel Street sort of area and the CBD precinct, you know, playing their music, and it's kind of, I guess, because everyone's so up close and near you, there's no filter as to like if they're enjoying what they're hearing, they can see that right across, you know, from you, and they're right there.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's definitely, you know, a lot of the time as well with the busking is you actually talk to the people as well. You know, like they'll walk along and they'll stop and they'll say, oh, that's really good. And so you know, you start up a bit of a conversation with them, which is something that you don't really get with that on-stage performance, because, you know, you're all the way up there sort of thing. You know, you're away from the people, and so they can watch and enjoy. But with busking, it's really, you know, kind of up close and personal, I'd say. But it's also a lot less kind of intimidating, because you just, you know, you're standing on a street playing your music, and if people want to stop, they can stop.
And I think it's amazing that, you know, there's kind of this championship, the Australian National Busking Championship, that people can get involved with. They can learn more about, as you know, now being the official ambassador,
Yes.
which again, congratulations on that. If people want more information about the championship, is there a way or a place to go?
So we've got Facebook pages and stuff like that, just the Australian National Busking Championships. There's also a website, which is busking.com.au.
Yeah, and people can go there, find out more information.
They can.
Yeah, and you see so many people busking like right across the country.
Yes.
You know, so it's nice that there's sort of a home for it as well. With the championship, people can get recognised.
Yeah, no, it's such a, you know, it's such a fun thing to do. I've been, you know, playing in the busking championships for years, and I will always go back. You know, it's just such a fun thing to do.
And enjoy the Gympie Music Muster as well, with that being your first time up there.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. It is certainly a trip, but I'm very much up for it.
And can we look forward to seeing you back in Tamworth for festival next year?
Yes, I do hope to be up here, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Now, I must ask, before Hats Off is done and dusted, finishes obviously tomorrow, the festival, any other opportunities we have to see you performing live while you're here?
Yeah, I will be at the Postie, I believe, today, doing a Tamworth Songwriters Association showcase, and then tomorrow I'm doing another Songwriters in the Round back at the Oasis again.
Nice. So there's a few places
Yes.
to see you performing live. Love that. And again, you can stay up to date with you on the socials. Just search for Gabby Foreman Music.
Gabby Foreman Music, that's the one.
Well, thanks, Gabby, for
Well, thank
popping
you,
in,
Sharnae.
and enjoy the rest of your Hats Off for 2025. And